For some time, my wife and I have owned this side of the fence, but we now own this side of the fence. So today's little project is to turn this 6-foot close boarded fence into a 3-foot post and rail fence, as long as the rain holds off. So having bought this land, I still can't see it from the house because there's a fence in the way, so this is coming down. However, it's not quite that straightforward. You see, the paddock isn't totally fenced properly, so there's still potential for deer to get into this area. So I still need something between here and the house to stop them coming into the garden. So I'm going to take these close boards off and turn this into a post and rail fence. Obviously, taking down the feather edge boards is the very first job in changing this fence, and I've got another use for them in another part of the garden, so I need to dismantle this fence in a way that doesn't damage these boards. Having said that, probably 60 to 70% of them are already split because of the way that they've been nailed into the rails. So this is a really good example of why you should only pin feather edge boards once at each position. Have a look at this. So this board has been pinned twice here, once on the left and once on the right, and then all these boards shrink in time, so something's got to give, and inevitably it's the thinner end that gives, and then look, it's just pushed out, and you can see that's shrunk by maybe 3, 4, 5 millimeters there and just pushed it out, and it's the same halfway down as well. So the way I do it is to pin through the thick end of the board, in this example on the left, missing the board behind, and then the right hand side of the board gets held in place by the next board that's then pinned through the left but missing the board behind, and you just carry on all the way along. That way you don't get splitting and you don't get silly stuff like this. This is a really good example of where a job takes longer than you think it's going to. There's nothing difficult in using this crowbar to prise off these boards, and planning this job I had it in mind that this was a very straightforward process which wasn't going to take too long, which it is. However, the combination of trying to take off the boards without damaging them and the fact that I've got around about 200 to remove means even removing one every 30 to 40 seconds still turns this very simple job into a 2-hour task. So this is the last panel I'm taking off because I'm actually going to stop at this point here. I'm not going to go all the way along because in the sort of formal garden there where I've done the grass recently, I really want a fence at the end. This section is going to be a little bit different and I want to be able to see through the house into the paddock. So this is the post that's where I'm going to stop. And now I'm going to have to take the rest off, cut down the posts and get the rails on. Before I take the rails off, I decide to use my rotating laser level to put the same level on each post. Whenever I use a laser level or something similar on a job like this, I always get a lot of comments saying that I could do it with a spirit level or with the water level, which is absolutely true. But the engineer in me always wants to try to make things as horizontal and plumb as possible. And if you've got the kit, then this is definitely the quickest and most accurate way of marking posts that are 8 foot apart. With my level established, I take off the cant rails, trying not to damage them because all of these will be reused at some point in the future, especially these days with the cost of timber. And although they come off the posts fairly easily, all of them contain ring shank nails that were fired in using a nail gun. Before I do anything else, I de-nail all of these rails. That's both the ring shank nails and any other pins that we use to fix the boards. De-nailing timber like this is really important. It's so easy to hurt yourself by stepping on a nail sticking out of timber. And as I'm reusing it, I have to de-nail it at some point, so I might as well do it now and make things safe. So this mark I just put on all the posts with the laser level is just an arbitrary level. It just ended up here because that was the height that I set the laser level up. It could be down here or it could be up there. It doesn't mean anything other than the fact it's exactly the same level on every post. Obviously, if you haven't got a laser level, you can quite easily use a spirit level and a piece of timber. But if you've got a laser level, it's probably just a little bit more accurate. So what I need to do now is to work out exactly where my rails are going to go relative to this line, and then I can mark it on each post. And the top rail, I think I want in line with the middle rail of the existing fence. The bottom rail, I want in line with the bottom rail of the existing fence. And the middle rail, it's really up to me, but I might as well put it in the middle. With the straight edge set up on my top rail line, I use my circular saw with a 15-degree bevel cut to cut the posts as deep as possible and then finish the cut with a hand saw. I'm using my vintage skill saw here rather than my cordless DeWalt, as it's got a bigger blade so I get a slightly deeper cut. When I was going along cutting these posts, I just couldn't help but think of the first scene out of the film Cool Hand Luke. I don't know why. With the top of the post tidied up, I felt I was on the downhill stretch now and I could start fixing the 4x2 top rails, which is as easy as lining them up with my pencil mark, clamping them in position and drilling and screwing them into the posts. After all the preparation work, all I need to do is fix these rails on the posts to complete the job. So nothing can stop me now, or so I thought. Well, I suppose you could say I've been lucky so far. Let's just hope this is a 10-minute shower, eh? In typical British weather tradition, within half an hour the rain had stopped and the sun had come back out. So I took a deep breath, put on a dry set of clothes and came back out with new vigour to fix these rails and get on and finish this job. With the top rail accurately in place, I thought I'd make a hang-in type jig to be able to position the bottom rail so it's exactly an equal distance from the top. This works really well, and as usual, using a jig like this means that you don't have to measure anything other than to make a quick check every now and again to make sure that you're still on track. With the bottom rail in place, I then cut a simple spacer to the right length to help me position the middle rail in the middle. There you go, all complete. And once this has dried out a little bit, then I'll give this a coat of stain. And what's really nice is I've now got something to lean on while I look at my vegetable patch and contemplate life as well. This is real country living. Next I'll be buying pigs like Tim, I suppose. So I hope you've enjoyed this video. If you have, please check out the other ones on the channel and please subscribe. And please go and look at our Patreon page where you can support us over there and also get extra weekly videos as well. So until next time, I get quite used to this.